Hey everybody, this is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015, and I am joined here again by Gamer of the Year, Pete Hahn.
Hello everyone, how you doing?
And Mr. Marathon Man, John Hruza.
What's going on,
Hruza to
everybody?
Bruza, as he's known in the FGC.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everyone?
John had just, when was that, last week?
It was
Last Monday.
Last Monday into Tuesday.
So it was a week and a couple days.
Yeah.
A week and a couple of days ago, John did a 32.5-hour stream
Yes.
of playing every single game in the arcade.
It was a fun time.
That's awesome.
Absolutely amazing.
Better
But-
you than me. I don't think I could do that.
It was. There were a couple of times where it was a little rough, but it was a fun time for sure.
It was. We streamed it live. Why don't you tell? I know you had. It turned into a Galloping Ghost fundraiser event.
Absolutely, yeah. That was It was originally just going to be It was kind of just an idea that Eddie and I were talking about. Just kind of a hey, what people come up to us all the time and say, what's your favorite game here? What game should I play? And I was talking about it with Eddie for a little bit, and I was thinking, hey, what if my favorite game here is a game that I just haven't played yet? Because I've been coming here since you guys opened, and I played probably 60 to 70% of the games in here. And what if just my favorite hasn't been played yet? So I'm like, the original idea was, hey, what if I just strap on a GoPro and just play every game and record it all?
Mhm.
And then Doc had the idea of let's make an event out of it, let's live stream it, and and we could do it to help the fundraiser, which turned out to be a really good success.
Yes. Thank you to everyone that donated for that.
Absolutely.
And there was.
That's awesome. We had a lot of people following him all night in the stream.
Yeah.
We never got below. I think 15 people.
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
15 at all times. Yeah, which is awesome.
It was really, really cool. And thank you for everyone in the stream chat as well, because if I had to do that whole thing without having anyone to talk to, it would have been bad, especially at around 3-4 in the morning.
Around the King of Fighters time.
I don't ever want to play King of Fighters ever again. This was around Aliens and Miss Pac-Man, kind of in that era. Rampart. We had Pete Gores in the chat. Now, mind you, this is about 3:34 in the morning. Jeremiah had just left, so I was in there alone.
Mm-hmm.
So Pete Gores was in the chat. Duke was in the chat. For the life of me, I cannot remember their names. A couple of guys from the UK, one from from Australia, and they were all having a conversation.
I think it was Alan Stahl.
Yeah. Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
And they all kept the conversation going and kept me awake
That's
and
good.
sane. So it was certainly it helped a lot. Probably a lot more than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Walking away from that, what was your favorite game?
I have a couple. A lot going into it, I was not a shmup fan, and I was open about that. I didn't care for shmups. I'm very bad at shmups, and after walking away from it, I'm still very bad at shmups. But two of my favorite games that came out of there are shmups. One being Daimaho, and Sivern. I've completely fallen in love with the game Sivern. I'm still terrible at it. I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
But I love the look of it. I love the play style of it, the music in it, the sound effects. I love Sivern. I had played it before, a different game now. I'd played it a little bit before. Now I'm really liking Assault.
Great game.
Especially Doc was there showing me the little tips and tricks and different things. So I'm really enjoying Assault. Oh, there's so many fun games that I played that I just hadn't given a chance. Believe it or not, as much as I hated playing the King of Fighters in a row, prior to that, playing a lot of the Neo Geo games were fun. Magician's Lord, a lot of fun. Thanks to Tibbets and all those guys, I'm starting to play a lot more Nightmare in the Dark.
Yep.
So a lot of the Neo Geo games I think get overlooked.
Sure.
So I think those need a little bit more.
Yeah, they have a little mini portrait marquee for each one, and they're really quick to get overlooked, I think.
Yeah. So those are probably my favorite. Sivern, Assault, and Daimaho.
Nice.
Was there any particular game that you're like that one's just not for me?
Yes, there are a handful that if I never have to play again, I would not mind. And this is all just personal preference. Gladiator. If I never have to play Gladiator again, I will not be sad. That game, not a fan. And I'm also not a huge fan of the classics. I didn't grow up in the arcade scene. I'm too young to play for the arcade scene, kind of. So that's why I'm glad I'm playing all these games at the first time here. So like Mr. Do, not a big fan.
What'd you think about Pengo?
I can't stand it.
Me too.
And it's probably just me. I'm probably just bad at it, but I can't stand it.
I think everyone hates that game.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Everyone except for James White.
Yeah, James, and I used to, when we first got it, I was watching Matt Walters play it all the time too. He was liking it a lot.
I like it. I have not put a lot of time on it recently, but
I might need to have you show me how to play it, because I think I'm just playing it wrong. That's probably just me.
Watch James next time. Ask him next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all.
Oh, absolutely. There was people that were naysayers saying that it couldn't be done. There were people saying that you'd
fizzle out
Yep.
22 hours in or so.
Yeah.
And
you said nay to those naysayers.
I did. Yeah. Once I started, I knew I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I no matter what, I'm like, it's for the fun. I kept telling myself it's for the fundraiser. I'm doing it for the ghost. I'm doing it to say that I actually did it, and so I couldn't have stopped even if I wanted to.
Well, that's very much appreciated. Like, it was definitely a really fun event. Like, I think it was beneficial on so many different levels that there's so many of those games over there that nobody's ever streamed,
Absolutely.
and now there's at least something out there of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just great. It was.
And now we know the Wi-Fi reaches everywhere in the arcade.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't have any. I think we had one blip, and it was for a quick 10 seconds where it was kind of bogging down a little bit.
Nice.
But that was in the far back corner of the pinball area. So probably, and even there, I was asking people a lot when I was back there, how's the stream? How does it look?
Cool.
We kind of wanted to know and kind of see how.
I was worried about that area.
Absolutely,
it held up for the most part.
It held up perfectly. So it was really nice.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately following, my thoughts turned to what in 32 and a half hours. What was the body count like? Like how many ships,
body bags?
How many body bags? How many ships destroyed? Like how much ammo did you fire in the last 32 hours?
Yeah, certainly.
Those numbers would be staggering. But,
what if we had an arcade track for that?
For bullets fired?
Bullets fired.
Would it be like Mortal Kombat, how it keeps like pints of blood spilled during matches?
Yeah.
It would be bullets
Something
fired.
That's the one thing that I wish, and we could go through and get scores on everything and put them all in on
That's one
arcade.
thing I'm really, really sad about. I started to, going into it, you were telling me, or we were talking about it, that it'd be really cool. And you said that your favorite part of scoring is seeing somebody's very first score, their first time playing a game, never seeing it before.
Out of the box scores.
And
yes.
that's what I really wanted to do. And I remembered it going in at about, I didn't do it for the first couple of Mortal Kombats. I started at Mission Craft. At Mission Craft, I'm like, okay, now I remember. Update scores. So from Mission Craft, for a lot of the shmups, I was finishing it, leaning over to the mic, saying the score, and then continuing. Mm-hmm. At one point, I just totally forgot
like
for
that
7 or 8
come
games.
Out
yeah.
Of the procedure, just to move things along.
Absolutely.
But we could even go through
the video footage.
And my next thought was, like, that should be a standing tournament. Like, Marathon, you can come run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
You've got from the time we turn the key until whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll stay late.
We'll stay however long you can go, but it's like one of those giant steaks that you have to eat, otherwise you have to pay for it.
So you get in for free if you
get in for free if you're taking it on or something, and then you can't leave.
Is it a standing offer? Anyone can do that? Okay, that's cool.
But
I might take you up. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm kind of might want to run that. It's I think if it was something like that, that would be the only way that I would be able to get back to every game.
Mm-hmm.
if you just force yourself, hey,
this is the event.
Yeah,
let's do this.
It was a lot of fun. It's grueling at some times, but it's a lot of fun.
I was surprised, and Tibbetts even pointed this out. He was like, out of the box, you were still interacting with the people, like
Absolutely.
on the chat and
Absolutely.
talking to them.
That was the main thing. I wanted, because you see all these you see some of these streamers and they get so focused on the games that they don't interact with the chat, and these people are donating money, they're showing support, they're having fun, and you don't want them to sit there and just kind of have to stare at you playing a game,
watching 16 King of Fighters in a row.
Exactly. That was the only time that I was quiet, because I was so dog tired. I'm playing these games.
You told me they all look the same.
They're literally KOF 94 through KOF 2001 is the exact same game. It's ugh.
You pick Blue Mary if you can.
That's all I did. That's exactly what I did. I picked Blue Mary and just went to town. Mm-hmm. Let's just go.
Wow, that is really awesome. We've been really upping our streaming lately too. Like, that was really a great way to kick off the fundraiser and really start adding a lot more to our streams and stuff. So
I think up until yesterday or the day prior, we streamed 8 days in a row.
Yeah,
it was whether it was Danielle,
I think it was Sunday
Flicky,
was the last day we didn't stream. Right?
Yeah, whether it was between Smash or MK or just people streaming
on the floor. Yeah.
On the floor, Danielle doing Flicky, Duke doing Centipede. We were just constantly streaming, so that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's basically, if anyone wants to stream, if you want to go for your own personal best, if you want to go for a house high, if you want to go for a world record, let me know and I'll have it all ready for you by the game you want to play. Just let me know and I'll get it ready. We'll have it set up for you when you come in.
Awesome.
We'd love to show the world your skills.
Absolutely. Mm. And let's look at the scoreboard. Like, we can. There's been a lot of really big things going on here in the last week.
Yeah. So our last podcast, I want to say, was what was the last podcast?
It was the 9th.
9th, yeah. So I remember we mentioned Ruben Alicia's Rygar new world record on that podcast. So anything after that, we can start going here. We got. Sean Quigley increased his personal best on Nightmare in the Dark. He's over 2 million now. James has a new house high. He came close to beating the game Dragon's Lair.
Yes.
He said he's beaten it 3 times in his life,
yes.
and he said he might try for it again. So, but those were 2 personal best increases.
We got to get Phil Pops Diaz on that too.
Yeah, he likes those event-based games.
Yeah, he was when we had the PS3 one. Mm-hmm. He was just finishing it no problem.
Nice. Does that one play similar to the arcade or exactly?
It is. It was a very, very accurate port. Okay. So I would like to see how he does on the actual dedicated hardware.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
For sure.
And then we have Jeremiah Smith throwing down the gauntlet in Double Dragon.
Yes.
He made a big deal out of taking a Tibbet score. Made a big Facebook post about it, and I hope they're having a good time with that.
They are.
That's good.
I believe
they
as far as I know.
As far as we can tell, it's all lighthearted. All right. And
James Whitehouse will put up
it's a house high,
new
right?
house high in Assault.
Yep. Did you have that previous house high?
Yeah, I had. Yes.
Okay.
He took. I had, I think, 90,000 or something, and James put up 116. So huge congrats, James, on that. Mm-hmm. That's definitely. I think a lot more people are going to be putting up scores in Assault soon. And I think that score is going to go way, way up soon.
Count me in for that.
Yeah, there's. I don't know. I totally liked having even the old sticks were fine, but
the
original tank sticks are so cool, and it's such. Even Pinball Ken was like totally loving that one. So
nice. Man, that game gets me dizzy when I just watch it. I don't know if I can play it, but I'd like to. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I might try it again. We'll see.
That screams Super Nintendo Mode 7.
Yeah, exactly what it does, yeah. All right. Who do we have next? Oh, this is Saturday. Tim Foley came in and put in a bunch of scores. A bunch of shmups, it looks like.
If you'll look, man on a mission here.
Started at the beginning of the alphabet.
He's like, print me up a list of all your games. I need a checklist.
Oh man.
So that's the start of
the list.
Yeah,
it's all
720,
in order, yeah.
1942, 1943, Aerofighters, Aerofighters 2, Aerofighters 3, 19XX.
See, I thought he was just going after shmups, because then I saw 720. I'm like, well, that's a shmup. One game that's not a shmup, but all the rest are shmups.
Yeah.
I thought he was just playing shmups, but no, those are in order of like the games.
Well, I believe it was from an inspiration from John. Like,
that's awesome.
It's starting to like, yeah. Why haven't I played every game here?
Yeah, I think others have tried. Like Maz's has tried, hasn't he?
I think he does X number of games
per visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's how that's going.
Okay. Cool.
Huge shout outs to Tim also. He donated us a NARC input board.
Cool.
That we needed. So.
All right. Excellent.
Thanks, Tim.
All right. So that
brings us up. Then you, Gamer of the Year, still flexing away. Showing off the strength of the Gamer of the Year.
It gives you extra power.
Oh, the belt? Absolutely. Yeah. Taking new world records in Tekken Tag Tournament with just under 6 minutes. Yeah,
that actually, I think I can do better than that, but I think that score is definitely beatable.
Yeah.
But we're on the extremely hard difficulty, 3 out of 5. So, like, it looks like it should be shorter than that, but, you know, if it was 2 out of 3, I could have that under 3 minutes, but 3 out of 5... I can maybe get it around 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you also have the world record in Tekken 3, right?
Yeah.
Right next to it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's crazy.
And you also put up a new world record in Gradius 3.
Yeah, I took over Eddie's score by just a little bit. He was over 100,000. I'm at like 133. I think I was near the end of the third level. But my hand got tired, so I stopped playing.
I knew you couldn't stay away from it, though.
Yeah.
When you, at the beginning, you're saying, hey... I don't really want to play it. It's too difficult. There's no way that with that game staring you in the face, you're not going to play it. You have to.
So good.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you know, maybe at some point I'll go back to it, but for now I'll let that stand. I'm sure that'll get beaten sometime soon, though.
Eddie's been playing it a lot.
Yeah.
So he really wants. He wants that. Got some competition.
Nice. It's always good.
Then. Duke Dang putting up a new Flicky score. I know with Danielle streaming so much Flicky, a lot of people have been getting more interested in the game, and it's really cool. Like she's still on her quest to get 8.5 million.
Good luck to her. Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure. I hope she gets it soon. I hope we can see it all on stream.
Yeah, she's been very in streaming lately too, so that's been really cool. She'll probably be streaming at least 2 or 3 more times this week. So
nice. What else? Oh, we have. I wasn't here. This was my my day off Monday, but Mazes and Jamie did their weekly visit.
Yes.
And Jamie beat his old 19XX world record that had been up for a little bit, but he beat it by a lot. I don't know if he's been just working on that, but he's getting higher ranks like rank S's against the bosses, so
yeah,
that's going to be a higher score. So
for sure.
Then Mazes put up a few scores: Circus Charlie, Metal Slug, and Kicks. And Jamie also improved his personal best on Crater Raider. He had, I think, the house high is a little under 80,000, right?
Yeah, it's 79,000.
79, and it's James, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's getting there.
And definitely some interest in Circus Charlie.
Jeremiah's been playing that lately too.
Yes, he put up a new score.
Yep. Yeah, that was just earlier today. He had me put that in.
Very cool.
And finally, we want to give a big shout out to Raul Rosso, who's visiting us from Argentina.
Yes.
And he has been putting up some incredible scores. He's been here since yesterday. We're recording this on Wednesday, so he's been here Tuesday. He beat the Metal Slug X world record. He did a no death run, but then today he even improved his score by.
That's insane.
So I guess there's a couple things you can do to improve your score. You can use just short range kills and just use the knife, and you get more points rather than shooting guys. So he was doing that more. He's a little under 5.8 million now.
Wow.
What is he at? 5,783. So that was done earlier today. He also nearly did a 1 credit clear on Metal Slug 3. He died in the last level. He said he had about 5 minutes left of the game.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not as sharp on that one. He said he could possibly do that maybe later. I think he's going to be in town one more day.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get him to put up a new 1 credit clear on that.
I'd love to watch that.
But he did stream his Metal Slug X 1 credit clear. Is one of his more recent ones. So if you follow us on Twitch, you can see the highlight of his 1 credit clear. We also streamed the last half or so of his Nightmare in the Dark new world record. He put up about 15 million,
Jeez.
which is crazy. Everyone seemed to love that game from American Horror Scoring too.
Yes.
So if you want some pointers on that, definitely watch that highlight. But I started the stream up when he was already playing. He was at around 9 million, but he ended up clearing it in 1 credit and put up a little over 15 million. He's like, I'm a little rusty. I could probably get like 20 million. I'm like, okay, all right, you're crushing everyone, but I believe you.
Absolutely.
So huge shout out to him. Thank you for including us in your visit to the States. He was asked how he heard about us, and it was through the Primal Rage videos that showed up on the internet when we got that. So
from Primal Rage 2.
Primal Rage 2, yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
it's great that the word got out and it got to him, and it brought him back to us to help him set some scores.
That's still so amazing, and that an arcade can bring people in from all over the world, and it's amazing to me. It's amazing.
It is. Yeah, I mean, and it's like the only place you can in the world you can play Primal Rage 2, so he really wanted to play it.
Yeah.
So he came.
Did he say what he thought of it?
I haven't talked to him about it yet.
No.
He's been focused on setting those scores. I think he got score crazy, so which is fine. I understand. But I'll ask him later. I want to see what he thinks about it. He might not know all the secrets or how to select the dinosaurs, so I got to show him all that stuff.
Very cool.
Yep. So that I think catch us up for scores. We're pretty much up to date now.
Cool.
Cool. What do you want to do next? Do you want to do the Facebook questions? Or?
Sure, let's do some Facebook questions.
We really didn't have many this time. We had one from Stephen Lucas about asking about us to cover the warehouse raid. So I don't know if there's anything else that hasn't been revealed that you want to reveal about that.
The warehouse raid, me and Jeremy Fox and I went out to undisclosed location.
Area 51.
Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
This was a warehouse we had collector that been to a few times, picked up a few choice pieces from. Just hundreds and hundreds of games. Great selection.
Wow.
Never really into selling stuff, and I was just like, I hadn't been there in a long time, and I figured I might as well just check in with him. And he was like, "Oh, you've picked a good time," and so we went out there and some really cool stuff. I picked up 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
I already have the next 9 games picked out. We didn't have a big enough truck.
Bigger boat.
We need a bigger boat. We need a bigger truck. We need a bigger location.
Yeah.
But the 8 games that we picked up, the first one we announced today was a dedicated original Dragon Spirit cabinet.
Side art looks awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Makes me want to play that game.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
That and you mentioned Syvern, like those 3, Dragon Spirit, Dragon Saber, and Syvern go so nicely together.
Mm-hmm.
The Dragon Shmups.
The
line,
Dragon Shmups line.
Yeah.
Like, so cool. But yeah, our original cabinet was in a Pengo cabinet that had been converted to Dragon Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. It was one of the only empty cabinets that I had at the time, so that was a conversion that we did, because that board set is so hard to find. I've seen it go for well over like $1,200 in Japan, and
For Dragon Spirit?
For Dragon Spirit.
That's crazy.
Wow. It's rare. It's definitely very rare. Actually, I saw it posted for that much. I don't know if it's sold for that much,
Okay.
but it definitely brings in a good price just for the board.
Okay.
So it's to get an original dedicated was just awesome. But when we picked it up, I think 4 years ago, I think it was still already at $400 or $500 for that. So just for the board.
Wow.
So definitely we got a great price on it and swapped out the stick. We had an original stick on ours.
Oh, like on the Pengo cabinet?
On the Pengo cabinet, we had an original control panel with an original stick.
Okay.
And on the new one we picked up, it was an aftermarket stick.
What does it originally come with? It's like an 8-way or?
It's just cherry switches and it's an 8-way. The stick itself, it's definitely not a HAP or an IL or anything.
Okay.
It's definitely its own
Cool.
Atari-esque stick, but I transferred that over, so ours is now completely original dedicated.
Nice. Hopefully we can see some more scores go up on that.
Yeah, I had the monitor in it looks perfect, and Seth had just redone our Dragon Spirit monitor, so that was looking nice. But it's I've never seen it look so nice as this one.
Nice.
So that's been on the floor. The other 7 games that we picked up.
Are they secret? Keep them secret. Keep them safe.
I don't know. I don't know if people want to hear what we have until it's on the floor.
Why?
We had thrown out there. Let us know if you want to see what's in the vaults, and we
didn't really hear anything, did we?
I saw not one comment.
Well, they're lost.
They lost. They lost.
Well, that's harsh of me.
But we did get. See, of the 8 cabinets, I think 5 were upgrades.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's. I'll let a few slip maybe. See,
The one you showed me, I was really excited for. I'll do a stream for one when you announce that one.
That might actually make me play that game. That cabinet looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. Maybe we'll let that one slip. But okay, for going back from the Dragon Spirit one, the goal when we got there's always a handful of games that it's like, oh, I can't wait to get this cabinet upgrade. And this place had most of them that were like the top of my list.
That's awesome.
We have Astro Fighter and Rally X and cocktail tables.
Mm-hmm.
And there's never a good place to put those with our current setup. So they're usually like, if somebody is like, oh, do you have this? We'll plug it in. But we have the uprights for them now.
Cool.
And I had been looking for the both of those for a while, and they're not exactly the hardest games in the world to find, but they just haven't been popping up. So those 2 were there. We went out there knowing we were getting the Dragon Spirit cabinet. The thought was going to be put in the new Dragon Spirit cabinet and then convert the old Dragon Spirit, which was a Pengo, into Pengo.
Oh yeah, okay.
But there was a super nice looking Pengo cabinet there. So, and our Pengo's in a...
it's a little cabaret right now.
It's a little cabaret.
Yeah.
So now we have a original dedicated upright Pengo, original control panel, original everything. Like, looks
Nice.
great. So
Some of these cabinet upgrades going to happen. Are they going to be still a while? Because we don't have a lot of... The Pengo that we have now is really small, so that large one's not going to fit in that old space.
it'll still fit.
It will? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll make room for it.
We'll make room.
We'll make room. We're going to start stacking
We'll
games
just-
on top of each other. Then you have to play with somebody
With a
on your
ladder?
shoulders. That's how it'll work.
Double-decker games.
Pengo might go up this week. I'll get here super early tomorrow and start working on that.
Cool.
So now we have an empty Pengo cabinet that Dragon Spirit was in, and now we'll have an empty Cabaret
Cabaret
cabinet.
Well, we now have an empty Dragon Spirit cabinet, full working dedicated Dragon Spirit
Yeah.
cabinet, and a Pengo cabinet,
Okay.
or a playable Cabaret Pengo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be either selling those or trading those or doing something with those. I don't know. Should we let
One other one slip?
One of the other ones slip?
I don't know. I would.
I definitely let it slip. Yeah.
So okay.
Secrets are no fun.
You've twisted my arm. An original dedicated Nemesis cabinet.
I was happy to see that.
That was one of my holy grail games. Spent forever looking for it. The board is always priced outrageously. I've seen maybe 2 or 3.
I see them on the Shmup forum. They're at least $1,000 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Wow. The full dedicated cabinet was nowhere near that price.
Wow. And that came with another board?
It had the full board. I haven't tried plugging it in or anything. So it could be...
You could have a bad board in there.
Could have a bad board, but it's all fixable.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's going to be fixable. So yeah, very happy about an original dedicated Nemesis. Now the problem is, if we put that where do we put that on the floor? As we've got 2 double cabinets, and that is not one that I had planned for.
Right. That's rough. Because do you want to mess with the dedicated Nemesis to put Gradius 2 in there, or would you want to keep it stock?
That's a good question.
Yeah. It's so hard because
now you need to make a triple cabinet.
No.
Put Gradius 2, 3, and 4 in one cabinet, and then Nemesis.
No more than 2.
We need to invent a way to do this.
Maybe we slip Gradius 2 in with X multiplier or something. I don't know.
Oh, that wouldn't feel right.
No,
though.
not really. One's a 1-button game, one's a 3-button game.
Yeah.
Confuse people with extra buttons.
These are the problems.
Yeah.
These are the big
arcade
problems.
struggles.
Yeah. What do you do here?
Nemesis, it's such a great game though. I don't know, and that game is so ingrained in my mind. I bet you in 2 games I could loop it, just warming up, just right now.
I really enjoy that game.
Yeah. But I love the game. It's such a great game.
Hopefully soon. Where construction is literally any time. We're gonna have probably maybe 30 games going up in the new expansion.
Wow.
So it'll be...
Any of the big space takers?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So otherwise I would say more.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Number makes sense now.
Yeah.
All right.
Because in the big space takers, you can fit, 4, 5, 6
Smaller
regular
games,
games.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be again. I was going through the vaults the other day. We've been getting a handful of new boards in. We got 3 shipments from Japan. So there's some. Again, I can't even begin to tell people how good some of the games that we have that aren't on the floor. That it's I'm so excited. Me personally, I'm excited to play them.
Right, but you can't let it slip, or else people are going to be like, "I want to play that," but it's not here.
Right.
Yeah. That's a tough predicament.
Yeah. Well, again, as always, we will. The fundraiser is up and running. If you go to gallopingghostarcade.com/fundraiser, it'll. We have updated the fundraiser page.
Oh, no, cool.
So it now shows. It gives a little more of an idea of what we're doing and how it's all going to work and the breakdown of it. So.
It's a really good timeline of what the arcade was and what it's become and what it's becoming.
So it's gonna have it has the floor layout of what we're planning to do on there.
Yeah, it goes back from when we opened.
Day one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All the way to
back with
party rooms and
I could learn
green
from that.
screen areas.
Yeah. Cool.
Back in the day.
Very interesting looking at old layouts of the arcade.
It is.
The cocktail table section.
Oh, going back and looking at the old, the original walkthroughs of the arcade, it's amazing. We had big aisles to walk through, and party rooms. There were walls that aren't there now. It's fun just going back and looking at what the arcade was.
Yeah.
And how much it's grown and what it's become. It's crazy.
It is. I was just watching the newest walkthrough video. It's such a long video. I haven't gotten through it yet.
Yeah, it's 48 minutes,
I'm
something like that.
27 minutes through. I have it marked, but I have to keep watching it. But
I was rushing on that. I had heard that our last video was long.
It was too long?
It was too, people that is a long video.
Yeah.
So I was trying to rush, and it's
40 plus minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta show everyone what we got.
There's a lot of impressive stuff on the arcade floor. It's hard to just skip over something.
That's exactly what it is. It's hard to just. This is this, and this is this.
Here's this one-of-a-kind cabinet.
Exactly.
There's
so many one-of-a-kinds and prototypes that it's hard to be. Yeah. Hey, this is Primal Rage 2. Continue. You can't do that.
Yeah.
We have a six-person grid.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. No, you can't. You got to stop and give it some attention.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's difficult to just kind of skip over and graze over some of these really impressive games.
We didn't really have many other Facebook questions besides the ones asking about the warehouse stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did mention is a possibility of doing the podcast as a live stream in the future.
Yes.
So we would like to ask everyone what they think about that idea and when would be the best time for us to stream. If we can work it with all of our schedules, we'd like to do it at a time where we can have maximum interaction with people that are actually going to want to tune into the stream. Because otherwise it does no good to stream. We might as well just record it then.
Yeah.
So, but please let us know what you think. How do you think that would work?
I think it'd be awesome. We've normally when we do anything live, there's always a ton of questions.
Yeah.
And we love getting the information to people. It's when you open up the door to just be like, you can ask us whatever you want.
Pick our brains,
yeah. It's like it always leads to interesting places.
It's cool. It's like an AMA that's just right in front of you.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I hear you have an AMA coming up.
Edge told me I got to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, supposedly. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm a little bit afraid about that, but
I did one and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of questions.
Yeah, you got a lot of questions. It was good because they were like good questions.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't see why yours would be any different. A lot of people, you have a lot of scores, a lot of impressive scores, so I'm sure a lot of people are curious as to...
And most people are going to tune in and give me crap about Cyrax. That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
You did do 100% resets on me.
As well I should.
Live. Yeah, that happens.
Oh my god.
It's not going to be like a tribunal or anything like where...
Like I show up like I'm on trial.
The game's 5 years old. No one's going to give you that much crap for it.
All right.
Oh, people remember.
Yeah. All right. We'll see how it goes then. But yeah, I honestly didn't have too many more topics.
Well, we have
any other ones you want to talk about?
We can talk about our Saturday night, the festivities of Saturday night.
Wow, that was.
It was. What time was that?
Right before I got in.
Yeah, it was
5.
It was 5. Yeah, it was 5.
So on 5 o'clock on Saturday.
I almost forgot about that.
We're having a great day. There was already probably 250 people through the door,
sure.
And it was one of those days where it was like, wow, we're really rolling along good here. There's a lot of people, talking to everybody. Everybody's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of new people, a lot of people from out of
regulars.
town. Yeah.
So 5 o'clock rolls around, and half of the arcade shuts off.
Was there like a big boom outside, or did?
Not that we heard.
I didn't hear anything.
I wonder if it's like The Simpsons, where like everything dims.
It was just like everything.
And then
was
you
down.
heard, oh,
it's the collective. Oh,
that's funny and sad at the same time.
Followed by all the employees stopping and just looking at each other like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we had just, as always, been rearranging stuff, and Will was here one night. He was here completely overnight. Like, he was here all day, stayed overnight, and he was here at 6 when I got here, and stayed until like noon, rearranging all the powers, like all the strips, and
making sure they're plugged in where they could actually sustain being turned on.
Yeah.
I was giving him crap because he labeled some of the sockets not to use. He put no. But if you look at them upside down, they say on.
They say on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to use that. It says on.
Well, we had just gone through all this, so it was like my initial thought was, oh, something's not right.
Yeah.
And I'm checking all the boxes. Everything looks fine. And it's like we have 3 electric panels because we use a lot of power here.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's our number one question. Like, our power bill.
What's
I would
your
hate
power
to,
bill? I will tell anybody who wants to pay it for a month.
Talk to Doc when you come in.
Yeah. It is a heavy expense. But everything was on.
Yeah.
And then
all
it
the
was
fuses,
just kind of
all
like...
breakers.
There was about... Like, the worst part was that it was so quiet up front because, like, all the front rows were off.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of disappeared into the back areas.
Yeah, the casual and the shmup room.
Yeah.
Because those were all still
area.
on. And the pinball area.
Okay.
But it was so weird.
It was dead silence. Or at least dead silence where we were. And at first, I'm like, oh no, everyone saw this and everyone left. And then when I ran into the back to check the second power box, I saw everyone was back there. I'm like, okay, good.
At least
games are on. People are having fun. People are still having a good time. So let's get this figured out.
So I checked every box 4 times, and it's like I don't understand this, and I'm like, oh, what? I went outside and look up, and the power line has exploded, and it's like burning, like it's
like
melted. It's melted.
Yeah, you can smell that
something happened.
Yeah,
and instantly on the phone with ComEd, and I'm like, we need this fixed now. Like, there's people here, and they were like, oh, call back in an hour.
What?
And
we don't have an hour.
Yeah, it's like
who's our day's business?
Yeah, we have people here.
So hour goes by, nothing has happened. Everybody seems pretty cool. We ordered pizza.
Everyone was very understanding. Even some people who said, hey, we'll come back later. Nobody was really upset by the whole thing.
Nobody wanted a refund. Nobody wanted anything.
Everyone kind of understood that they were kind of surprised when they found out that this is the first time this has ever happened.
Right.
Yeah. So it was everyone was very, very cool.
I think I came in around then. I came in around 6.
Yeah.
Like, everything was like off, and people were like starting to, like, some of them were leaving, but then the pizza showed up, and everyone got happy.
Yeah.
The pizza disappeared quickly.
It did.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Everyone had some.
Mm-hmm.
So I called ComEd back after an hour, and they're like, "There's nothing wrong with your power," and I'm like,
"It's something internal."
They're like, "Go check your fuse box." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "You've just wasted an hour of our business. I'm looking at an exposed line right now. I'm like, it may or may not be sparking right now. You might want to be sending somebody." So they got somebody here very, very, very quickly.
Nice.
And the guy was super cool. He was, I explained the situation to him. I'm like, how long is this going to take? And he's like, not more than a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, no. I'm like, I still have 150 people in our building. How quick can you do this? He's like, let me start the prep work. And he's like, it not more than 20 minutes. From the time you throw the rest of the power off, because the power has to be completely shut down. And that brought up the problem of Danielle being in her perfect game of Flicky at 4.8 million.
I'm
not dying yet.
So
not dying yet.
I remember I cleared everybody out of the aisles. I told everyone, hey, we're gonna throw the power.
Except for her.
That's why I came up to you and I'm like, hey, I have everyone else. You go do that. That's on you, man.
She had a group of like 6 kids that were just cheering her on.
It was awesome.
Was she streaming at that point?
She was streaming, and it was just like, this is going to be
break her heart.
Oh, yeah. It was so bad. I felt terrible.
She was totally cool about it, and the kids were more upset than she were.
Yeah.
They wanted to see her get a record right then and there, but
nice.
Yeah, so we shut it off. It was down for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, and just shot right back up.
Danielle went back to streaming. The arcade filled back up almost instantly.
Yeah, anyone who left the arcade floor, because we were turning off everything, including all the lights. So once everything was thrown, obviously we don't want anyone tripping over each other. So we say, hey, anybody who's here, just head up to the front, step outside for a couple minutes while this gets done. Anyone who wants to, go grab a bite to eat, just come back like normal, show your receipt, you'll be all set. And a lot of people, just like probably 90% of the people who stuck around just hung out outside for a couple of minutes. It was a little chilly, but nothing too bad. And then as soon as it threw back on, it was just okay.
Yeah.
And then it just filled immediately back up.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It got busy that night too. It was,
Yeah.
It was a pretty good day overall. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot of people for the day.
Yeah.
It was definitely upper 450.
450 plus.
Yeah.
Admissions, nice.
Yeah.
80, something like that. It was a lot of people.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm glad it's all fixed. We didn't lose any games. Everything powered right back up. And as always, we appreciate that it is so difficult running such old hardware and being so dependent on so many different things that like power goes out and
We don't have a business.
the funny thing is, even with our main power out, we still had
200 games.
200 games up and running.
You know you have a huge arcade when 60% of your games go down and you still have 200 to play.
More than most other arcades in the
Yeah,
US
in
anyway.
general, yeah.
We're still top 10 largest arcade
With
in the
half
world.
of them down.
Half power.
When our transformer explodes, we still have
Yeah.
a giant arcade.
That was that was a good thing. That,
It does feel good, for sure.
but wait till we're twice as big.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Speaking of being
another
twice as
marathon
big,
stream.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna do the marathon like you gotta stream 700 games in a row now when we get
It would
much
certainly take a lot more prep time than what this was.
bigger? Like Batman style prep.
Batman. I really want to do it. I want to, and whenever we put up a new game, I was talking to Doc about this. Whenever we put up a new game, I'm gonna keep up with this.
You're gonna do another marathon every new game we play.
Oh, no, not that. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna play that game and take a picture of me playing it. I want to keep up to date with playing all the games because I don't want to, especially once the expansion kicks off, I don't want to get behind.
Yeah.
So I really want to. I would love to do a full, crazy.
Yeah.
750
How are you feeling
plus game.
physically? Were your hands sore or were you numb?
No,
or?
the worst thing was my back and the heels of my feet were rough.
Oh, okay.
But my back only because I had the tripod with the camera and then I had the cart with the laptop and the webcam. So the wires were there were a couple of wires in front of me. So instead of stepping on anything or anything like that, I would lean over as I try to pantomime on an audio podcast. You had to lean over, and it after 15 hours, it was a little rough.
Okay.
And I had Tibbets in the back when I got to Bionic Commando after I just passed the 24-hour mark. Tibbets is like, will somebody get this guy a chair or a stool?
Yeah.
So I went and got a stool and sat down, and it was like a cloud. It was the greatest thing ever. It's like, why didn't I think of this sooner? But it was.
That's why he's a doctor, Dr. Sage.
Dr. Sage. I
Dr.
didn't
Sage.
for the first, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours. I'm like, man, this guy's been in here a while. I'm like, who's Dr. Sage? And I get a message on Facebook from him. By the way, I'm Dr. Sage. I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense.
He's a doctor in schmapology.
In schmapology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Mozzie saying I wouldn't make it past 5 a.m. Tibbets was, yeah, Mozzie's like, I give you till 5 a.m. I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. 7:30 p.m. the following day.
You got it.
Ugh.
Who would you like to see attempt the gauntlet?
No one old.
No one old?
No, anyone.
I'd love to see James do it. I think
James could do it.
James could do it.
Yeah.
James is good at a lot of games. It would take James a lot longer because
He lasts longer,
He's
yeah.
a lot better at games than I am. There are some games for me that lasted 20 seconds.
Mhm.
Some games that lasted a couple minutes. But I'd like to see James do it.
Like your last game, you lasted about 20 minutes
yeah,
on Bucky
O'Hare
O'Hare.
lasted a while.
Yeah.
I was super glad that was the last game I played.
Yeah.
Because I was originally going to do Sega Strike Fighter because it's our big kind of cool game. And then when I saw Bucky in the back, I'm like, you know what? Let's end it on my only world record.
Mhm.
Let's do some Bucky.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go for any more world records?
For sure. I'm in the last probably like 2 months. I've gotten a lot more into putting.
I've been talking to you about scores.
Yeah,
And
I've been putting in more scores. I used to just only put in scores if they were world records or house highs, but now I'm looking more into personal bests and just improving. So I'm going for Creator Raider. Like my 3 big games I'm playing right now, actually 4, are Crater Raider, Assault, Sivern, and Outfoxies, and then Street Fighter 1 when I can.
Yeah. So did you drop Aliens? Because I know for a while you were...
Aliens I was going for a while.
You were not... You
I
were
was
like
getting
almost
good.
200K, right?
I broke 200K once.
Because the world record's less than 300K.
Yeah. Now it's 279 or something like that.
So you're not too far off.
No, I can get better at it, and I do get games that are better. It's just kind of changing it up a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of have a different look at it of you can just sit down and dedicate all the time to one game and just kind of figure out the ins and outs. But I like to kind of change it up, play a different game.
Okay.
But my main game right now is Crater Raider and Outfoxies. I really want that Outfoxies score. I love that game. That game is amazing.
You guys are going to have an internal GGA battle for that game.
You have, what, do you have 9.4 or something like that? 9.5?
Yeah.
I had, my best is 7.1 or something like that. I think I barely broke 7 million. And I died. I died and I was like, oh.
You have much to learn, Grasshopper.
I was salty about that loss. Because I lost on Bernard White, and I lost because I fell off the train and couldn't get back on the train. Or no, I don't think I broke 7.
Second to last for you, isn't he? Or is he your...
He kind of changes, because normally it's John Smith is my first, because I play as Betty Doe.
Yeah.
John Smith is normally the first, but sometimes Bernard White is near the end, which is weird for me, because I'm used to it being like John Smith, Bernard White, and Dweeb are my top 3, or my first 3, but for some reason he was near the end for this one. It was odd.
Have you finished the game?
No, I haven't. That's kind of what I'm looking to do, because I used to, once I found out that it was all about the quote-unquote hospital bills, your perfects, that once I would get hit by a rocket launcher or a grenade, it'd be like, okay, it's a done game. But now I'm going more for, hey, let's just see if I can beat the game, because I've never seen Mr. Acme yet. Or was it the big boss at the end? I haven't seen him yet, so I really want to get to him and see how he plays.
Have you seen me do it, or
no? I haven't.
It is so unlike any other level in that game.
Really?
It is.
I haven't watched any playthroughs. The only person I know that actually, there's only like a couple of people that I know play it, and that's you. And there was a gentleman who was from out of town.
Yeah, he's like, you guys have
Outfoxies?
Oh my god! And Doc's like, hook him up. He has great taste in games.
Yeah. I was playing it, and the guy comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey, I hear you're good at Outfoxies." I'm like,
yeah.
You did, yeah.
What did I do?
You like when the guy was ringing up, he's like, "Oh my god, you guys have Outfoxies." He's like, "You're like, give him a drink." You're like, take care of him. He's got great taste in games.
Yeah. What did it come out on? Was it only
there was
an
no
arcade
console. It was only arcade and only in Japan. There was no console port
Really?
of it.
No release.
Okay.
No U.S. release.
Yeah.
And it was the precursor to Smash Brothers.
Seriously?
You could totally
Yes.
tell. Like it Smash Brothers borrows so heavily from it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And I love the pedal and gun setup. I think that's a lot of fun. It's super difficult. I want to see if I can do a 1C. After I 1CC it, I want to see if I can 1CC it.
I want to
with pedal
see
and
you
gun.
get to that last level, because I remember getting that last level and it was like, there is nothing. It changes so much that it's like you're learning a whole new game.
Is it just the layout of the level, or
do you want to know about it? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
So basically, you get to the Acme Mansion, and the
Looney Tunes.
no, the last boss runs from you.
Okay.
And he goes up, like you come in, that you
like a
walk into.
platformer?
It does.
Really?
You encounter, I think there's probably 8 or 9 rooms, and there's grenades dropping, there's dogs chasing you.
What?
And there's no build up to like how you're supposed to get through this. There's one room that is there's a wall, and they keep dumping grenades at you, and they're on there's like a ramp. So if you throw the grenade just rolls back down you.
Okay.
So there's like nothing has led you up to understand how to get through this stuff. And then you end up on the very last stage. You get to the rooftop, and they fly away in a helicopter. You're given an unlimited rocket launcher, and it just starts raining grenades down on you. So you have to shoot up.
So it's playing like a shmup?
And dodge grenades.
And the rocket launcher is so slow. And the helicopter is going left and right, so it's super hard to get it.
So you have to aim ahead and just...
You have to lead it, and it's a timer-based thing because they're blowing up the whole building. And I remember...
I might have to use some continues just to see this.
It is rough.
Yeah.
It is rough to...
Now I really want to play it.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't think that game gets enough... Doesn't get enough love.
It doesn't. I just randomly played a game the other day, and I think that score, there's still... If you know those levels, like...
Yeah, you have to know
kind of... It's all about the perfects.
Yeah,
and...
I'm learning... There's only a couple of levels that I actually know kind of by. Like John Smith, I can do in my sleep.
Yeah.
The only ones I really have issues with are Eve and Danny and Demi. Danny and Demi only because... Yeah, the boat.
The boat and the circus?
The circus. The circus is rough because it's just such a massive stage. And it's hard to get it perfect by not falling off. Or getting stomped by an elephant, or attacked by a tiger,
or getting a clown shot through you.
But it's so good when you fire the cannon and hit the opponent with the clown.
That's heavy damage.
Yeah, and then Danny and Demi it's just because it's just a small stage that's constantly rocking back and forth that you want to use the rocket launcher, but you know as soon as you pull that trigger, the boat's gonna tip and you're gonna shoot about 4.5 feet in front of you and then blow yourself off the boat.
That is, and obviously on productions, we talk so much about game design, and I constantly go back to Outfoxies, because
great.
Outfoxies and Flicky are honestly two of the best design games that I've ever seen. They're just amazing. Yeah. So good.
Is it Namco that made Outfoxies? Who made that?
Okay. Yeah, 94 Namco.
Okay.
The year I was born. That game's as old as I am.
Dang.
Duke Day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shoutouts to Duke.
Shoutouts to Duke.
Hug.
He was there on, I believe it was Saturday. Or I don't know what day that was.
Oh, he came in briefly after the power came back on.
Okay, that was it. So. Cool.
Are we good?
Well, I think that about wraps us up for today.
Yeah. As always, let us know if you have any thoughts or comments for next episode. But we're going to see about doing the live thing. Let us know what you think about that, too.
Yes. So, again, thanks, John, for doing that massive marathon. That was absolutely amazing.
It was awesome. Congrats.
No, thank you, sir.
And
certainly appreciated.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Oh, anytime. I'm an avid listener of the podcast. I love podcasts. Nice. I love the GGA podcast. I always yell at Pete. When's the night? We need this twice. We need this twice a week. Come on, don't leave me waiting. Well, I know a lot of people love the podcast, so it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Glad to hear it.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening. For Gamer of the Year Pete Hahn and John Hruza, this is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade, and we hope to see you around the arcade soon. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Later, guys.